I got tagged in this video, so assuming people wanted me to respond to it. It comes from a creator named Man Likes Abs Music. Friendly reminder, whatever he says, he's talking about in this clip, gaming has become overcomplicated, which is crazy because there's no reason to say overcomplicated. You say it's complicated. But anyways, yeah, he says the gaming industry's become overcomplicated. Let's see what he's got to say. Friendly reminder, I'm just attacking the argument, not the person. Whatever I have to say, whether it's positive or negative. Let's entertain and see what this content creator has to say. Is gaming overcomplicated?
In general, gaming's become over-engineered. Like, I'll give you an unrelated game, yeah? Take wrestling, SmackDown. You know, I remember the days of SmackDown versus...
Shout out to the Roadman Ting.
The days when wrestling was fun, where it's like you could pick it up, do the finishers, do the reversals, and it was very fluid, fast, enjoyable gameplay.
You know, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, this nigga, he's really mad about this situation. Yeah, his ears is literally steaming. This motherfucker like one of them damn Titans in Attack on Titan. Hey yo, we found the Titan King over here. This shit crazy.
As time has gone on now,
I didn't even
the wrestling games have become so over-engineered. So there's so many different things to do now that it's so robotic. It's not fun to play anymore. Yes, you can learn these 5 or 6 different ways of playing to do your finishes and reversals, but it's not the same. It doesn't flow the same because the gameplay has been overcomplicated to the point where they have to justify releasing the same game every year.
It sounds like he's complaining about wrestling games turning from arcade to sim. I'm gonna let it keep rocking because I know some people be bitching. I'll be pausing the video, but like in this first half of the video, it seems like he's complaining that WWE games went from arcade to sim. Which, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I used to play wrestling games back in the day. Some of my favorite N64 games were wrestling games, like those early PS1 ones. So I would actually agree with that because I remember like a few years ago, I tried to get back into WWE. And I remember saying on stream, I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, I was like, it's a fake sport, but you made it realistic in the video game. I'm just trying to beat a nigga ass and have fun. Like, where the fuck is Def Jam Fight for New York Part 2 type shit?
So you have to, it's like you change one thing, do another thing. Like, same thing with FIFA, same thing with Pro. After a while, when it
shout out to Ariel with the super chat, appreciate you.
Became given that, yeah, they're gonna release a yearly game, it became okay, we're gonna make the shooting worse. We're gonna make the passing better in this one. Every time they tweak it, they always downgrade something else. I'm pretty sure FC 27, there's gonna be something
he's cooking
there that everyone else is gonna complain about because it's just like, it's justifying what you have to do. It's justifying someone going out and spending their money. And
yeah, so it sounds like he's describing basically annually released video games, them adding and removing features every year and basically selling you it. They definitely do this shit in 2K. Well, they'll take away a feature, then leave it out for like 2 years, then bring it back to get you super excited. Actually, NBA 2K26 is a prime example of this. They brought back the pure green window. That had been a thing in NBA 2K, and then people were bitching and complaining about the cheaters. And instead of, 2K doing something about the cheaters, they said, we're going to introduce RNG into the game. People didn't like that. Then they removed the RNG. Now the pure green window's back. So don't be surprised if the cycle repeats and they add RNG into stuff.
It's just become, things are not fun anymore. Gaming is, you're seeing it in gaming. Gaming shops are closing down. I think Game just closed up shop the other day. Now, downloadable content. Before you could buy a game, have lots of fun, have everything you needed. Now they add friction into the game. So, hey, you can play this free version, but hey, you can buy these packs on FC 26 and all this other kind of stuff and, spend all this, lots of money so we can get more money out of you and get the in-game purchases and all of that.
That's the problem.
It's money driven, which of course they're business, but sometimes it's just not fun. If you've had a long day and you've been solving complex things all day, you just want to...
Not even sometimes, all the time.
Turn on a game of FIFA and enjoy, play the game, let the game be fluid and how it's supposed to be, not over complicated or over engineered to the point of, in real life, it would never run like this. Like, defenders would not behave like this. Shooting would not behave like this. There wouldn't be these silly glitches and silly things or...
what's the thing? The kickoff
glitch and silly things like that have always been a thing in FIFA.
You get the gist. I get the gist of what he's saying. First and foremost, I just want to say shout out to him, man. This is what we need more passion in the gaming industry. This nigga's so passionate, his head is steaming. Let's go. So I agree with his argument. I just don't agree with the way that he's wording it. What he's talking about is annual video games. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this is a ball and gun gamer argument. And what he's talking about is real and he's being reasonable about it. I just wish that, like, when ball and gun gamers hop on the internet and you guys complain about your games, I wish you would just stick to talking about your games, because when you title it this way, or when you even say it, some people might automatically just dismiss what you have to say, because you're wording it as if it's the gaming industry as a whole, and it's not. This is an annual video game release problem. So then one of the solutions is step outside of your comfort zone. The other, though, I will say I agree with what he's saying. It's just I don't like the way that he worded it, because it's like the gaming industry as a whole is not that overcomplicated. Like, you had a game like Expedition 33 that released for $50. It was a 60-hour game that's won award on top of award to top of award to top of award. There's nothing complicated about that. You pay your $50 and you get the game. And indeed, generalizing the topic as if gaming is just FIFA, and it's not. There's much more to it, or wrestling games, like he stated earlier. So, like, he's right for the most part. I just wish that you guys would get better at compelling your arguments. Basically, saying gaming industry, but then only talking about one type of game is crazy. Yeah, that's the only thing I would critique in this. But he's 100% right with what he's saying. The main problem that he's basically talking about is capitalism and greed. The shit that I've been talking about. When you release an annual game, it creates problems. Like the annual glitches and bugs that they never fix, or them removing features and then adding it later. I seen somebody joking here earlier, next year in 2K27, they probably gonna bring defense back and sell it like it's some big point. Nah, that's what happens when it's annual releases. But to be fair, it has less to do with the game. And this is where I wish, like, people are start talking about politics and being so goddamn woke. This is the part where I wish some of y'all would just wake up, because what you're saying is true, but it's not the game that's the problem. It is the greed, the corporate greed, the business suits. If you want this stuff to improve, you got to stop buying it. At bare minimum, stop buying excessive amounts of VC, or he's mainly talking about FIFA and WWE. So in FIFA, stop buying the card packs for the Ultimate Team mode. In WWE, they introduced the island, which is like the park. Stop buying, I don't know, the baby oil for the park or some shit. I don't know what the fuck they do on that damn island. That shit kind of weird. That's crazy, bro. So you got to understand what your problem is not necessarily gaming as a whole. And if you would step out of your comfort zone, you would see that the problem that you have is corporate greed. And the only way you're going to stop that is stop buying the games. And then I hate the argument of, well, you know, FIFA is the only good soccer game on the market, or 2K is the only good basketball game on the market. That's not an excuse for being a responsible adult. So you have two options. You can stop playing that and go play something better, or stop playing it and just stop playing games, period. Because, like, I'm also tired of this trying to act like there's nothing else to play. If you feel like there's nothing else genuinely you can be interested in, go find a new hobby, because all you're doing is contributing to the problem. Because on a grander scale, one thing I wish ball and gun gamers would understand, the dumb shit that y'all do over there in y'all communities, it's creeping over to our side. And I do feel like people who play other games are a little bit more educated on these topics, so they're more resistant to it. Like, shout out to the Helldivers community when PlayStation was trying to fuck them over like a year ago or whatever, and they said we not having that shit. Or like the Star Wars community with the loot crates, they said we not having that shit. I feel like certain other communities, they're much more likely to buck back. But for some reason, and I'm not talking about you in specific, when this creator, for some reason, when it comes to ball and gun gamers, they swear they're the cool guys of the gaming community, but y'all be the first ones to bend over and taking an ass. Yeah, I said it. It is what it is. Y'all not that damn cool, because y'all are financially illiterate, and I'm gonna keep screaming it till I'm blue in the fucking face, man. So hopefully you understand why me explaining. If you don't like it, stop spending money on this shit. It's the only way it's gonna stop. And you gotta tell your bros too. You gotta start spreading the gospel, because one ain't enough. It's funny too, because the new WWE game coming out confirmed they're not gonna be on last gen, and I thought, damn, you should have done that 3-4 years ago. That's money, bro. That's another thing too. People bitching and complaining, like how about how like they're still creating last gen games. That has to do with they just don't want to leave money on the table. But what y'all fail to realize is that's actually hurting the development of the main game, because now they're spreading the resources half and half. So the main game on the current gen is also suffering as well. They're not putting as much innovation and ideas into it. And this is why I'm always going to wage war against you PS4 niggas. Shout out to Debo with the $5 super chat. He said, I haven't played 2K or Madden since 2019, and I don't understand why these dudes can't quit. I think that is the greater question. Like, what up, homeless? Why can't they quit? Just quit. Just quit. It's not a drug. Turn the game off. Shout out to Ariel with the super chat. He said NFL head coach 06 and older game titles are better. Yeah, that was before the implementation of I feel like patient zero for video games, like annual sports video games, to become the way that they are now. I feel like, and I have to do more research, but I think patient zero was Madden cards and Madden. I forgot what year that came out, but that was the original microtransaction I remember rolling my eyes in, because I used to be into Madden super heavy. And basically it was if you remember park cards in 2K, it was basically park cards for Madden. You could buy these little boosts for your players and shit like that. And then after that, they started adding Ultimate Team and all that stuff. Was it Madden 08? That's where I remember. I think that was like patient zero, where like shit started to go crazy. Stop buying the stuff, man. You're partially right. I'll say I agree. I think you got to word it a little bit better. Next topic. Let me turn my shit back on. And fuck Donald Trump. Shit, you're not my president. They said it's President's Day, bitch. Where? Oh, and nobody's surprised news. This is about the fourth article that I've covered on this very topic. Sony is considering holding back the PS6 until 28-29, reports claim. And depending on who you are, you might feel a little... Or if you're a PS4 nigga, you probably feel... In an article about the ongoing surge in memory prices, Bloomberg says the upcoming bottleneck of memory production will cause huge ramifications across the tech industry, dubbing it the Ramageddon. The article asked numerous tech analysts on their views on the ongoing increase in RAM prices and a surge mainly attributed to AI data centers buying up huge quantities of it, making supplies scarce. Noting that Apple, Tesla, and at least a dozen other major corporations have warned that shortage of memory will constrain production in the future. It's crazy that Apple's name gets listed here, because Apple definitively has the worst AI on the market. They delayed it for a year, then it came out. Apple Intelligence is crazy. Apple is so arrogant. They don't even want to call their shit AI. They called it Apple Intelligence, and somehow it was the dumbest AI on the fucking market. Yo, shout out to Pain Medley. That's besides that goofy ass headset they put out. The other ass product they put out is Apple Intelligence. Let's see, that will constrain production in the future. The article claims that Sony and Nintendo are planning to act accordingly. Are you watching History in the Making with Concord and Highguard? What would you call this era? I don't get what you're trying to say. Citing sources familiar with Sony's strategic thinking, the article claims that Sony's Group Corp is now considering pushing back the debut of its next PlayStation console to 2028 or even 2029. It also claims that Nintendo is considering raising the price of the Switch 2 later this year. Neither Sony nor Nintendo responded to the request for comments on Bloomberg's article. The article insists that the RAM shortage issue is not going to be resolved anytime soon, quoting Lenovo CEO Yang Yuqing, I think that's how you say it, is saying this structural imbalance between supply and demand is not simply a short-term fluctuation. Translation, we might be stuck in this fuckery for a while. I work for Apple. Yeah, I agree with you, and the Apple Intelligence is stupid as fuck and something that's really hard to sell to others. Many people have been panic buying Mac minis because it's the cheapest Mac with 16 gigabytes. That's crazy. That's crazy. Bro, I just realized the podcast mic prices went up. Yeah, it's tech. All tech is gonna go up. I just hope that by the time the PS6 drops, the tech inside of it isn't old as fuck as we get charged. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Because the thing about consoles in comparison to PCs, at some point, I would imagine Sony and Xbox, they're sitting down and they have a general idea of what kind of power they want to put into these platforms. But at some point, you do have to say, all right, these are the specs, and then we're gonna go with it. And like, I would hate for a situation where they sit down and they say, this is what the PS6 is. And then the RAM shortage makes it to where they can't even reproduce it massively. So then it gets delayed another 2-3 years. And then they have to ask themselves, well, do we want to do more R&D and try to upgrade it? Because the thing is, once you start upgrading the parts, you also got to figure out, you know, how they work together, like with the cooling and all that other shit. So it could be they have to sit there and figure out how we're going to upgrade the parts again, or they have to decide, do we want to put out dated hardware on day one, which would be unfortunate. Can they both think of anti-cheat mechanisms for their consoles? Please, please, please. Hey, yo, if Xbox or PlayStation came out and said, we have a definitive code in our hardware that is going to make it 99% chance that you cannot cheat on our platform, oh, that one will win day one. That would actually be it'd be so random, but I actually think that would be a great feature that would get a lot of people excited. The Steam machine won't be cheap now. Yup. Would you recommend building a mini ITX PC? If that's what fits your situation the best, me personally, I don't like mini PCs. It doesn't leave a lot of room for it to breathe, so it's more likely to overheat. And then also, like, just moving the parts around, it doesn't leave a lot of space for like customization. Like me personally, like I like to put capture cards in my PC, maybe like extra RAM, like maybe even if you want to get an extra GPU, ain't no space for that shit. So as long as you're okay with probably never upgrading it, it's pretty much a console. Sure, but like I wouldn't recommend it because then it leaves no space to customize it further. Just get a laptop at that point, or a Steam Deck, or Xbox ROG Ally or some shit like that. So yeah, this is like the third or fourth article I covered. I'm confident in saying if something doesn't change by the end of 2026, it's all but confirmed this damn PlayStation 6 ain't coming out till 28, 29, 30. I think that's I don't think this is a real hot take. It's just an educated guess. And they already brought it up in that article, but Nintendo's having the same issue with the RAM stuff. Another one. I covered this once before, so this is the second time this has popped up. In that same Bloomberg article, like I said, Switch 2 just came out, and due to the RAM squeeze, the price of the Switch 2 might go up as well. I don't even think it's might. If nothing changes in the next year, it will. No way I'm gonna be pushing 30 for the PS6. I'm gonna be pushing fucking 40 when that shit comes out. You saw what happened with the KD burner? Nah, tell me all about it. What happened? I need some of y'all to follow me on Twitter, man, social media. And Nintendo Yakuza news, y'all better stop playing with them. Nintendo strikes more emulators with DMCA takedown notices. They're back. Nintendo has issued a fresh batch of copyright strikes to several emulators using storing their shit on GitHub repositories. As spotted by PC Gamer, emulators like Centron, Eden, Kenji NX, Melon NX, Pine, Pomelo, whatever, all this nerd shit, were all notified by GitHub that they had been hit with a DMCA takedown notice. An email from GitHub Trust and Safety said it's never its desire or goal to take down open source projects, but instead to help developers address DMCA concerns with their projects and outline some options. The recipient was then given 1 business day to respond. Failure to do so would result in repositories being disabled. Stop laughing. I know how to fucking read. This doesn't surprise me. What does surprise me is Nintendo keeps trying to fight this war, and it shows you how anti-consumer they are. Friendly reminder for those unaware, the reason Pokemon Red and Blue and Silver and Gold, like the original Pokemon games, the reason they're so expensive is because Nintendo refuses to re-release them. When they do, they lock it behind a platform, so when their next platform comes out, you can't play it still. So they make it very hard to get their games, and it drives up the price of them. So a lot of people emulate games that they no longer have. And my thing is, like, I get you trying to protect your IP, but at what cost? All this does is give out bad PR to Nintendo. And the reality is that you can't stop it. They just named 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 emulators that probably millions of people have downloaded. it doesn't matter that you sent the copyright strike, because I guarantee you somebody in the stream right now allegedly is re-uploading this shit to fucking Hulkshare or some shit. You can't stop it. So what? This is one of those ones, if I was a consultant, I'm like, this is just bad PR for you guys. Let it go. Let it fucking go. Unless it's actively hurting your profits. Like, I understand striking down. Let's say they put out a new Zelda game tomorrow and somebody leaks it via an emulator a week before it comes out. That I understand. You are hurting their ability to make money. But a nigga playing fucking Pokemon Ruby Red or some shit from fucking 15, 20 years ago, you'll be all right. You will be fucking all right, man. Not only that, before them are made from them, they'll just make another. That's the thing. You can't stop it. People want to play these games. Here's the solution. If you don't want people to pirate your stuff, make it accessible. The reason piracy is on the rise is because Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, all these streaming services, HBO Max, they've gotten out of control with their pricing. Same thing with these games. You guys are holding them close to your chest. It took 20 years for Nintendo to re-release Super Mario Sunshine. And I guarantee you we will not see it for another 20 years. So I hope you bought it when it came out on the Switch, the remake. Well, not the remake, it was a port. I've been emulating on Parasite, even allegedly, bro. We covered a Nintendo article about how they taking everybody down. You can't be saying what you be doing. But if you did find One Piece, congratulations to you. You did it before Luffy. Just be careful out there if you're selling the 7 Seas. That's why I brought up that article. Be careful. I'm letting y'all know that they outside, they looking. Battlefield 6 roadmap has developers biting their nails. Ooh. BF6 developers have revealed that they're anxious about players returning to the game now that the roadmap has been revealed. Season 2 of Battlefield 6 is all set to arrive on the 17th, which is tomorrow. Today's the 16th, with the developers already revealing what's in store for the main game as well as the Battle Royale version, RedSec. However, is this enough to bring players back to BF6? That is something the developers are also worried about. Is the Battlefield 6 roadmap enough to bring players back? According to a post by Charlie Intel on Twitter, a BF6 developer recently commented on the player count decline. They have stated that after the trailer and the roadmap were released, the dev team is sitting in their chairs, biting their nails, hoping as many players as possible come back to the game or check it out for the first time. For those unaware, Battlefield 6 had a banger start when it just released, hitting a concurrent player count of 500,000 on Steam during its beta and surpassing 700,000 on full release, also beating the likes of Call of Duty in progress. However, the story is very different now, with the game averaging between 50,000 to 70,000 players in recent days. Compared to that, Arc Raiders has been averaging 250 to 290,000 players over the past few days. I think Siggy beat Neo. Yeah, he don't get off that fucking game. I think one of the issues with Battlefield 6 and probably some other games as well is they want to be a live service game, but I feel like they have their foot only halfway in. Like, yeah, technically it's a live service game, but I feel like they're still following the business model of the Xbox 360 and the PS4 days, where it's like, you remember for Battlefield and Call of Duty, they would release like a map pack every quarter. That's kind of what this is. Like, from the update, they're calling it Season 2. It's just got like a little small battle pass, a new map in it, some small changes to RedSec, but it's nothing to like phone home about. Versus, I feel like a game like Fortnite is really spoiled people. Fortnite, and as well as some other live service games, they got whole events with Gundams and shit, Martin Luther King Day fucking events, and people log in. They got concerts, they log in just to do this stuff, bruh. You don't get President's Day off. That nigga not my president. What they got to do with me? Not gonna lie, I think they need to bring back Battlefield Premium. This one map shit ain't it. I don't remember Battlefield Premium. What was that? So I got a question. If the devs are worried about player counts dropping, why not just add free updates while developing Season 2? Well, that's what I was getting at too, right? If they truly are worried, why not just, I don't know, put out a better product? Them being nervous before it comes out says to me that they know that they're not doing enough. Interested readers can check out the Battlefield 6 roadmap, RedSec roadmap, Season 2. It's here. Additionally, the latest update adds new weapons and the contaminated map. Like this, like when I see this statement, it doesn't instill confidence in me. I'm gonna try it out, but I don't know. Battlefield Premium was the DLC pass. Premium was 3 to 4 map packs for a certain price. Like, the community's been begging for larger maps too. Yeah, I don't know why they don't do that. It's funny too because people are saying this game is dead, but I still feel like it has a chance to come back. I don't know if it'll be this season, but it does, because I don't think Black Ops 7 is in any better of a situation. And I feel like Arc Raiders community is something completely different from the Call of Duty Battlefield community, because it's a third-person shooter. So I feel like because both of the major FPSs in the genre are fucking up, there's still space for somebody to get it right. And whoever gets it right is probably going to eat the majority of the pie, whether it's Black Ops 7 or Battlefield 6. I prefer BF6 over Arc Raiders. I do too, but I understand people's complaints with the game. We're living in this era where people's dopamine receptors are fried and they need to constantly be satiated. People don't know how to be bored anymore. People view being bored as like a problem. Long gone are the days where like me and my friends when we was kids, you know, being old heads and shit, we just sit around. What you want to do? I don't know. What you want to do? I don't know. What you want to do? Then we just start fighting each other or some shit for fun. Like, motherfuckers don't know how to be bored. That's a completely different, separate conversation. Like, it's easy to blame the game. I think they can do better, but I think it's also way too easy to blame the game and not also take a look at society and look how gluttonous we've become for content. When I'm talking about content, I mean all forms of media. I'm not talking about video games. I'm talking about movies, music. J. Cole's album came out last week. Nobody's really talking about it. Like, we're moving so goddamn. I'm like, can we slow down a little bit? Like, and let things marinate a little bit. Yo, shout out to Space Cowboy at the Super Chat. He said, to be honest, I don't think the game was ready to release, but they didn't want to compete with GTA. I think the game was supposed to be released May 26th. Nah, I think the game was ready to be released. I think the issue is, oh boy passed away, and that kind of, keep in mind, what was his name? Fucking, my brain is fried. The lead developer passed away like a month ago, and I think that like a psychological, yeah, Vince Zampella, my bad, Vince Zampella. I think that had a psychological effect on them. You know, he was the head of the company. Keep in mind, they brought Vince Zampella over from Respawn to DICE to fix Battlefield. So he was responsible for the game being in a good shape in the first place. And now the game that drugged them out of the trenches, now the guy who drugged them out of the trenches passed away. Everybody's probably looking like, well, what do we do? What do we do? They kind of already had a roadmap for what they wanted to do for season 2, but I think the real test is going to be season 3. They should have had post-launch content ready before. You live and you learn. Yeah, that put a serious roadblock in them for sure. But you know, that part of the conversation is not fun. People don't care that the head developer passed away. Where's the content? Please don't take this the wrong way, but I think hardcore gamers demand culture is not helping out the phone head PC master world when it comes to cell phone prices and stuff. I'm not taking this the wrong way because I don't even understand what the fuck you're saying. I'm going to reread that and just hope that I'm tired. He said, don't take this the wrong way, but I think hardcore gamer demand culture is not helping out the phone head PC masters world when it comes to the cell phone prices and stuff. Yeah, I read that twice. I still don't understand what the fuck you're saying, bro. I must be stupid, bro. I'm not following that one, dog. Am I tired, chat? Like, you know that was a YouTube comment. I don't know what you're trying to convey, but you conveying it, big dog. You conveying it. I'm smart as hell, and I'm confused by that. Like, I don't know what the phones and ET got to do with anything, but it is what it is, I guess. Facts. I've grown to realize that boredom is a blessing. Things could get worse. They could. People don't know how to sit with themselves no more. And I think that does play a role, but people don't want to talk about that shit. It's just easier to blame the company on everything. I'm being weirdly paranoid about cell phone prices going up. Are you trying to say RAM prices are going to drive up the prices of cell phones, smartphones? If that's what you're trying to say, yes. It will drive up every form of technology because smartphones have RAM in it. But that's not what you said in your message. You said, yeah, the phone home PC master world. I don't know what the fuck that means. Yo, Black Ops 7 is innocent and Black Ops 6 blows up a month later. Developer dies when Black Ops 6 does much better than Black Ops 6. What? Yeah, what's going on, Chad? What's going on today, man? What's going on? Yeah, you got a lot of Oonga Boonga comments, bro. Yeah, it's some Oonga Boonga. That should be making me. I'm like, I'm already a little tired. Am I reading that right? What's going on, chat? Spider-Man. Is Spider-Man coming to Xbox? Likely not, says Insomniac. Yeah, the chat having some seizures. The console wars may not be as heated as they used to be, but it doesn't seem Sony's going to let key franchises like Spider-Man go to the Xbox Series. When asked about the possibility about bringing the Spider-Man series to Xbox, Insomniac, the studio behind all 3 Spider-Man titles to date, had a blunt response. Nah. Although the original post posing the question was deleted from Twitter, Insomniac's reply is still online, saying it's not likely. An Xbox port may not be in the cards, but the Spider-Man games have come to PC, as demonstrated last year, and we don't care. If you had any hope of playing Spider-Man on Xbox, it ain't coming. I'm pretty sure Sony is funding Insomniac. That shit ain't coming to no goddamn Xbox. Get a PC or get a goddamn PlayStation, bro. TBH just said Battlefield 6 not Black Ops 6. Wait, what? Talking about the last article? I'm not. Are you talking about something in the chat? Nah, you tired, low-key? Yeah, I'm stupid. No, the chat's moving too goddamn quick, and the motherfuckers posting links in there and shit. My bad. Gen Z being dumber on average than millennials makes me so happy to be a young millennial. It doesn't make me, I mean, it's funny, but it doesn't make me happy. Because at the end of the day, you have to keep in mind that when you get old, who's going to take care of you? It's going to be Gen Z and Gen Alpha. So we don't want them to be stupid. You have to keep in mind, Gen Alpha and the younger Gen Zs will become the lawmakers one day. So it's actually not a good thing. Yo, shout out to Ken King with the super chat. He said, chat's weird. The Outer Worlds 2 is on sale. Why you gotta call the chat weird just to let us know that shit? How are you happy the generations is not you gotta think outside yourself. It's actually not a good thing. That means if people are dumber, there's gonna be more car accidents, more misinformation spread. Just like there's so many negatives that you could think of. And then last but not least, our team is still fully committed and working hard on 2XKO, says Riot, as it announces 2 new characters day after the mass layoff announced. Just a couple days after announcing it was slashing half of the team, Riot says it's still fully committed and working hard on the game, and to prove that, 2 new characters and the promise to iron out some of its more glaring issues. In a blog post titled What's Next plus New Champs, game director Sean Riviera said that the team is doubling down on building for the FGC that loves this genre. What that looks like for 2XKO right now anyway is keeping things pretty much the same while cleaning up a few problem areas. We've seen the conversation about what our core gameplay could or should look like in the future, and we want to clear up one thing. We love that 2XKO is fast-paced, allowing your reactions and creativity to shine while providing a ton of depth to dig into. The skill ceiling for this game is high, and that's where it's gonna stay. Been a silent watcher since 2016. Thanks for all the laughs. I appreciate it, Festa. I appreciate it, Festive. We'll continue making balance changes that hit outliers in the meta while keeping the sauce of every character. At a high level, we want every champion to have defined strengths and weaknesses, and right now that's not clear enough across all the cast. Riviera specifically highlights that Echo and Yasu are 2 of the sauciest characters in the roster, noting that their weaknesses aren't apparently enough at the highest level of play. Riviera also says that it's still full steam ahead for 2XKO's competitive scene. Its challenger event at Genesis X3 took place over the weekend, and even planning to add access to some exclusive in-game prizes and locals to reward players for joining their local community. This is something I'm particularly fond of. Locals are the lifeblood of the FGC, and finding ways to encourage folks to get out and get stuck in through in-game rewards is mighty enticing. They still haven't said anything about them $100 skins that they got in the game. Y'all better address that real quick, because the game is free to play, but if you want to make some money, you got to make things affordable. And if there's one thing we know, it's that the FGC is broke.
Like, if you're a broke boy, just say so.
So if you want any chance of making some money, you're gonna have to lower those prices, probably do some bundles, some skin bundles, because these guys are broke. They're really broke. The average FGC nigga don't got a haircut. They sleep 12 to 1. The average FGC nigga is unemployed 11 months out of the fucking year. The 1 month they do have employment is in July, because they use their mommy's credit card to fly out to Evo in Vegas, where they rent out a one bedroom B&B where 12 niggas sleep on the floor. And none of them niggas place. None of them. And the worst part is none of them plays, and they entered the Mortal Kombat tournament. It wasn't but 8 niggas in it. You get top 8 just for entering. Them niggas still didn't win nothing somehow. Yeah, no deodorant, no bitches. That's so you gotta understand, these people don't got no money to spend, bruh. Making the game free might have been a mistake. It might have been a fucking mistake, man. The pokey drop is savage. Hey, listen, man.
Like, if you're a broke boy, just say so.
The blog post also surprisingly dropped 2 new character teases. The first one is Akali, who Riviera describes as a sharp, stylish ninja who cuts opponents down with deadly precision. We covered this last week. We seen Shorty. She looks pretty cool there with the little gun blade. Shout out to the Kingly Drip with the super chat. He said, don't know if you ever answered this question, but have you thought about premiering the GI podcast for a live audience to enjoy on release? We used to do the show live, but I'm gonna be honest, y'all was fucking up the flow of the show, so we stopped doing it. Well, doing the show live, we just had a net negative period. So it was a couple things, right? First of all, y'all was fucking up the flow of the show with all these questions. And then y'all would ask the same questions over and over. And then on top of that, if you were already there live, you don't watch it when it's a VOD. So then it fucks up the ability to get into the algorithm. It's just no benefit of doing it live, unfortunately. I think he meant doing a live premiere of the pre-recorded show. If you're talking about doing a YouTube live, there's a reason why no YouTuber uses that feature. That shit sucks. I don't know if you know, if you do a YouTube live, whoever watched that YouTube live, the views don't count towards the video. The comments that happen during the live, it doesn't count towards the video. So like you could have 10,000 people watching the live premiere, and then once it's done, it'll have 0 views, 0 likes. There's literally no benefit. That's why nobody uses that shit, if that's what you meant. It's completely pointless. What the hell is the point of the premiere? Ask YouTube. I don't know. How about a live audience, like rent a hotel lobby and people watch you guys discuss? You know, I'm flattered that you think I can rent out a hotel lobby to do a live show, but nigga, I can't. I'm flattered you think that though. I'm flattered you think I don't make that type